Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video of the new Imperial Assault expansion, Obi-Wan Kenobi. My name is Simon and I'll be doing the unboxing today. So what I'm going to do is just open this up and show you what you get inside. So in this little expansion you get the figure, the rule sheets, deployment cards, 3 command cards, 2 skirmish missions, side mission card, and an item card. Now I'm no expert on Imperial Assault, so what I'm going to do is just running through my opinions and thoughts on it. But yeah, so rather than me sitting and cutting this open, here's one I made earlier. So I'm just going to open this up and show you what's inside, if I can get into this plastic prism. So we've got the cards and stuff in there, and here's the figure, so we'll come back to this shortly. So let's take a look and see what's in here. So first of all you get a pamphlet in here. It contains a list of the components you're getting in here, so you know, cards and stuff like that. It explains a couple of rules, so neutral deployment cards, which I think is fairly new to this, time periods, the deployment card restrictions, so campaign and skirmish icon primarily. Also explains the mission for you, so this gives you the mission map, and this is the skirmish mission, the mission rules for it as well. So make sure you keep a hold of this, do not throw this away, this isn't an advertisement. It is important, it's got rules on here, so make sure you do keep a hold of this if you pick up the Obi-Wan Kenobi set. So, let's take a look at the cards. Like I said, remember, I'm no expert on the game by any measure. So I'm just going to give you a rundown of what I think on some of these cards. So the command cards, I must go alone. So this is for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Use at the start of a round and until the end of the round, about hostile figures, you cannot declare attacks targeting you unless they are within 3 spaces of you. So this is essentially like a pseudo stealth for the turn. It represents when he sort of snuck around, I guess. So yeah, it just means Obi-Wan's a little bit more survivable because he can effectively just hide for a turn. A powerful influence. So this is for a Force user. Use at the start of a round and until the start of the next round. Hostile figures within 3 spaces of you cannot interact and are not counted for the purposes of control. So this is really useful for using in skirmish missions to stop your opponent from being able to access the different objectives and stuff like that. That could be very useful and very decisive for gaining those extra victory points during a game. So I really like Powerful Influence. And then another Force user card is Force Surge. Use at the end of your activation to move up to 1 space. Then choose an adjacent hostile figure and they suffer 2 damage and 1 strain. That's a really cool card. As it says, it's a bit of a surge, I mean it's a 2, but I think it's a really cool ability that it grants on here, just that extra little push. I mean, you only get to move 1 space, but it'd be cool for finishing off like a grand melee of some kind. So we also have the item card, Ancient Lightsaber. So interestingly, the attack is question mark, question mark, question mark. I'll come back to that in 2 seconds. So surge for +2 accuracy, or double surge, sorry, for 2 damage, or double surge for +1 damage and pierce 3. Your attack pool with this weapon is your, I think it's the initiative, is it, pool? So yeah, that makes that quite interesting. It's going to be very character dependent. Whether or not this ancient lightsaber is going to work really well, but the double surge for the +1 damage and pierce 3 hopefully should offset any low statted characters. So I think it's really cool. Downside being it's 1,000 credits. So onto the cards. We've got the deployment cards here. So this is for Obi-Wan Kenobi. So this is his campaign version. So he's got +1 evade, surge for +2 damage, and surge for pierce 3. Use the Force. Such a nice little nods here. While another friendly figure within 3 spaces is performing an attribute test, apply +1 surge to the results. Oh, that's very useful. And Mind Trick. Once during your activation, you may choose up to 2 hostile figures within 4 spaces of you. Push each of those figures 1 space. So effectively make them walk away a little bit. He's got 12 health, 4 speed, a black defense die, and then red, green, and yellow on his attack with his saber. I mean, he's not too bad. He seems a bit interesting. It's a bit of a utility, I guess. Just a bit of a cheerleading role for the use the Force and then the mind tricking as well. But it's not amazing though. But then Obi-Wan shouldn't be some kind of combat master or anything like that. So, but not hugely impressed with him. Then we have Skirmish. So he's 7 points. Same up here for his stats. So +1 automatic evade. Surge for +2 damage and Surge for PS3. And now he has Alter Mind. Hostile figures with a figure cost of 6 or less within 3 spaces of you cannot interact and are not counted for the purposes of control. So really useful for denying your opponent those mission objectives. And Into the Force, when you're defeated, choose another friendly figure, that figure becomes focused. So there's a nice little bonus on his death. You get to grant someone focused, and then hopefully you haven't activated them yet this round. They'll get to activate and finish off whoever killed poor Obi-Wan. And then his stats along the bottom stay the same, 12 for black dice, and then blue, green, and yellow for his attack. So this one, I prefer this one. I mean, he is for the skirmish mode. The Alter Mind's a really interesting little ability, which I think could become very useful for, like I said, for controlling those missions. Ooh. And then we have a skirmish upgrade for 1 point. So Channel the Force. So exhaust the card when you would draw 1 or more command cards to draw 1 fewer card than you would have. But you can search your command deck for a card with Force user trait, reveal it and put it into your hand, shuffle the deck, but you then have to choose a Force user and they have to suffer damage equal to the cost of the revealed card. So if you go and grab a 0, that'd be great, but on average you're going to be grabbing 1s really, aren't you? It seems like a really good card. Anything that allows you to search through your command deck, especially early on in the game, is very powerful. Downside, and this is a big downside, it kind of looks like Anakin in the artwork. So, sorry, Christian Hayden. We then have your mission here for the campaign, Deadly Transmission. And then your skirmish cards, Gaining Favour, and Line of Fire. So that's it for the cards. Let's take a look at Obi-Wan's figure. So he's got his classic big flowing cape and lots of layers on there. The pose looks a bit strange, but then if you watch the originals, it is the sort of pose he pulls. The biggest gripe I have is the fact that he's got quite a lot of hair, which I don't remember him having in the film, but then, you know, difficult to sculpt that sort of thing. And I guess you could argue it's from his slightly younger days. As always, lovely sculpting work, a real nice flow in the cape there. Shame about the bit of a gap here, but you know, you can't argue too much about that. There's not a huge amount of detail they could add to this because it is just flowing robes and stuff. You know, there's not pockets and pouches and straps and stuff they could show off. So I'm fairly happy with the way they sculpted it though. I think it looks cool, it looks good. The pose is very Obi-Wan, you know, very reminiscent of A New Hope. So I'm quite happy with this one. Like I said, the only gripe being the head, so the hair in general, and then the face isn't particularly Sir Alec, but you know, it's a little miniature. I shouldn't complain too much about that. So yeah, there we go. That is the Obi-Wan figure. So there we go. That is everything you get in the Obi-Wan Kenobi expansion. So overall, I think it's quite a good set. I think you've got some really good cards here for your command deck if you are playing with Force users. I think there's a couple of must-haves there. Wow, Powerful Influence I absolutely love. I think it's such a must-have. His skirmish card's pretty cool as well. Just a shame about his campaign one. And Channel of the Force is very interesting. I'd like to see that being utilised. So overall, I really like the Obi-Wan Kenobi box set expansion. Even I think it's quite a nice one. But remember, all the parts you've seen here today can be bought and sold individually on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. If you have any thoughts or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment below. Check out my other videos. I'll also be unboxing the rest of this new wave of Imperial Assault. And apart from that, I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.